Alright, we have an opponent. Diamond Dash is underway. Gonna pick up where we left off in the last video running the Naya Runes deck. And this hand is not what we're looking for. This one though is. We're gonna go ahead and keep this, and I think we're gonna drop the Hallowed Haunting. No, we're not. Yes, we are. Alright, next turn we will be able to drop down the Kami and the Rune of Sustenance and run right into the play pattern we're trying to get moving. Looks like we are playing Rakdos. Don't know if this is going to be a Sacrifice or a Immerstrom Predator deck. Either one of those can be terrifying in their own right. Get the Kami of Transcendence boosted up here and give it a little bit of life gain. Another Jukai Naturalist, that is a good deal for us. And we swing through for 2. Having the 2 white mana ticks available, we can now play Hallowed Hauntings if one does show up. Matter of fact, we may play the Commune with Spirits off the basic forest and see if we can find a Hallowed Haunting, as it looks like the opponent's going to take our other Jukai Naturalist. There's a Showdown of the Scalds. That actually might be the play here. And when I say might be, that's the play. Now if we can get a green or white rune out of the Showdown, that will be incredible. We don't get the green or white rune, but we do get a Generous Visitor. So assuming the opponent doesn't actually hit us with a... Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a risk here. Let's put the Jukai Naturalist up for trade and see if we can't reclaim our Naturalist from the Valky. They don't want to bite, so we're going to let that go. If they don't board wipe us here, we will have the ability to cast a couple of Commune with Spirits and really take advantage of the 1/1 counters off the Scalds. And with those Commune with Spirits, hopefully really create a terrifying board state and continue to power up the Kami. It's a card I haven't seen in a while. Forgot what it did, if I'm being honest. There's the Valky. We've got enough life gain going right now that we're not worried. Opponent is gone. So, as we again continue to try and push our way through Platinum, we are off to a good start. Alright, next opponent is up to bat. Once again, a challenging keep of a hand, but with the white and green, opponent going first, we'll be able to get the runes down and start our draw cycle, and that might be all we need, assuming we're not playing something with heavy removal potential, and that is heavy removal potential if I've ever seen it. Could be facing down a very scary Exile series. And in Standard, they have the full power Aspirant. Let's go ahead and play the Kami, see if we can't draw out some of that removal, and as we play down our Naturalists, they will pump the Kami. Also, if we do draw into a land, the Naturalist will give us potentially the access to either the Rune of Might or Sustenance, assuming of course we don't lose the Kami here to a exile creature or spell. There's the Apparition. It is good to get that out of their hand, as that could also target down the Hallowed Haunting, so that's one less apparition available to take away our big engine. But this is where it gets scary for us, as now we are facing down a mana starvation situation and the opponent has total control over the board. Once again, looking at the Naturalist here, so that could indicate, nope, they went Skyclay or Luminarch Aspirant, so that's good for us, but in one sense it's not, as they will start pumping out counters in a big way. Gonna go ahead and let it through, as we kind of need this to start doing something. Alright, let's hope we draw into a land. We get the land. We're going to go ahead and swing, get back a little bit of life, and give them the game. We have our next opponent, Slosh Lobster. Having a hard time drawing into the mana that fixes our situation, but this one is doable, so we're going to go ahead and keep. And we're going to err on the side of getting down the Kami. We'll play down the Rockfall Veil and the Needle Verge. Opponent leads with mono black, no 1-drop. Showing white sleeves, could be facing Orzhov. If we're facing Orzhov, which we are, this could be a tokens-based deck, which is good for us. Let's go ahead and get down the Kami. Naturalist will be next turn, and we'll be able to give the Kami the Rune of Sustenance, which will be a big deal. Wedding announcement. Okay, to be expected. Let's go ahead and drop the Naturalist and not risk it tapping down the wrong mana here. And we'll give it the lifelink, as it already has trample. Next turn we will go about giving the Naturalist the trample counter with the Rune of Might, or we might even go straight for the Showdown of Scalds. Our other play might be to channel away the Wedding announcement. That would be a very advantageous position for us to be in if we start taking away some of their key token generators, and we could then take a turn off when it comes to really building up a crazy board state. But let's see what happens here. Opponent on 2 mana available. Okay, letting it go. Passing priority, Deadly Dispute. Okay, they're going for ramp. So we are definitely going to remove that Wedding announcement now. Do they have another one? Okay, if they did, they chose not to do anything with it. Okay, there that goes. And we're going to go ahead and power up the Jukai Naturalist, give it a little bit of trample, and continue to power up the Kami. And another land, that is good. Opponent doesn't have nearly enough strength to kill either of these, so they like to just let it through. We're in a very good position at the moment. With these 2 creatures on board, they may have enough for a Meathook Massacre, but we have another Jukai Naturalist along with a Showdown of the Scalds in reserve. Farewell. Okay, that makes sense. But that took their entire turn for the most part, and we're just going to, once again, reset our situation, get ourselves back to advantageous positioning, and now we are set up for the next turn. And a very good next turn it will be. Hallowed Haunting available, Rune of Might to power it up, and another Showdown of the Skulls, possibly even with the land to make it all happen on a turn. hope they try and target that showdown, because most people don't remember that taking that off doesn't eliminate my exile board. Exile all enchantments. Okay, that is actually not as good for us, as it does take away our access to the cheaper enchantments. So another farewell for the opponent does set us back. Let's go ahead and get the Hallowed Haunting down. And unfortunately we're going to lose out on this next showdown. And a rune. So let's go ahead and put you on white. And I didn't realize I could enchant that, but that's not a bad deal, as it gives us the draw. We pick up another showdown, and that will be good. We'll start to generate spirits, and as long as they don't have a third farewell in hand, then we can actually make something happen here. Exile is not really what we want to be facing down, though. Okay. There's the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. We have a significant advantage right now when it comes to our health positioning because of the life gain we did early with the Kami and the Jukai Naturalist. Let's go ahead and play down the showdown, see what we draw into, get a bigger spirit going. Oh, and Runeforged champions for days. That is a big deal. Let's go ahead and get a Rune of Sustenance in hand, and we will hold. Opponent's just going to come in. Do they have another board wipe? Meat Hook Massacre for 3. They're going to go ahead and clear the board. But we are in a great position with this Runeforged champion. Rune of Speed in hand that they don't know about, which means we're going to swing in big on this next turn. And if we're lucky enough to draw into a Jukai Naturalist, we can combo out and really take this game out of their grasp. We did not get the Naturalist, but we have runes to spare, so there's the champion. There's the Rune of Might. Touch the Spirit Realm. Well, it's not going to do me any good at the moment. Let's go ahead and play out this land. We will do it on white. Another Runeforged to hand. That is a big deal. So we're going to go ahead and hold up here, take a big hit to the opponent's face, and we're going to let it go. If they pop the token, we're going to channel to touch the Spirit Realm. They don't put the token down, but we can touch the Spirit Realm when they go to target the Rite of Oblivion if they get something for it. Alright, we're going to have to save our Runeforged champion this way, but the benefit of the champion is we can start digging through the graveyard to access those spells. It will start regaining some of that benefit here. We have the other one to dig out another spell. Opponent is just sitting on the land, so we know that they don't have anything that can stop this combo from going off all the way, and they're out. We have outgrinded them, dodged a series of big exile spells there. Didn't really dodge some, we definitely took some big hits, but that last one, that was a key play for us that allowed us to really kind of get ourselves in position to win. Alright, we have found our next opponent and an excellent starting hand here. Jukai Naturalist, Runeforge Champion, Showdown of the Scalds, all available. We'll have to see what the opponent's playing, but we may be able to go tit for tat if they are playing a similar type deck and really give ourselves a sickening edge because of that Runeforge Champion and that Showdown. We're going to definitely keep this hand. It's what you're hoping to see whenever you pick this up. And we look like we're playing against life gain. Alright, we're going to go ahead and lead with the Forest. Because we have the Rockfall Veil, we can now drop the Needle Verge on white. And that will be good for us. And we can actually Jukai into Runeforge, into the Rune of Speed. Alright, that card is going to be a problem. We will have to combo off in a big way on this next turn if we want any chance of this becoming a game that we have an opportunity to win. Opponent already now with 2 life gain sources down, they're going to pump up that Voice of the Blessed in a scary way, and we're about to be out of this. Interesting that they assigned the counter to the Lunarch Veteran. Unfortunately for us, the Voice of the Blessed is now airborne. Let's go ahead and drop that guy and get ourselves a Runeforge to the board. Get a Rune of Sustenance for him. And we're going to go ahead and hold up. The opponent can swing in for a scary amount of damage this next turn. We'll have to chump somewhere. But fortunately they didn't tick over the top with the Valkyrie, so now we have a chance to survive. Do they go all in? We have lifelink on 2 creatures. Just those 2 alone can finish the game, so we have to make a decision what is more important for us to keep here. And at this point, I'd say it's the Naturalist. That is the bummer of this particular deck. We do have a hard road to get to where we need to go if we're facing a deck that has the perfect 1, 2, 3 steps that they just had. And we're just going to hit them with a GG. They won that one fair and square. Alright, we have a new opponent. We are changing pace, going from the enchantment deck, the runes deck, over to our Say Please deck, modified for standard. This is a interesting hand. The Paladin class gives us some interesting choices. We're going to go ahead and play that, then drop Thalia on 2, which will slow down any non-creature spells they might be running. Looks like we could be playing just a standard mono white pile, which is not a bad deal for us, as we'll have first dibs on most exile cards. And the Thalia's first strike does limit the Usher the Fallen's ability to do anything meaningful over the next few turns. They have their own Thalia. Alright, we have a second Thalia and no mirror box to show for it, so we're going to go ahead and drop the Spellbinder, get over their heads, and take a quick look at what we're dealing with. Welcoming Vampire, Sungold Sentinel. Let's go ahead and take the Cathar away. That way, we're going to really make their choices more difficult here in the coming turns. Welcoming Vampire is the expected play, but then again, you know, you can never predict it. If that does come down, we are going to take it with the Cathar. Okay. Let's go ahead and clear the path in the air. Next turn, we're going to go ahead and start pumping the Paladin class. And we can, if we get another land, pump the Paladin class and drop a Sungold Sentinel, start really putting ourselves in a good position. Opponent's only up to 4 mana at this point. Kabira Takedown could eliminate the Cathar. They go Spellbinder, so they're probably going to take our Sungold. Okay, as expected. We draw into another Sun Gold, so we don't see any major loss for that. Let's go ahead and swing all in, make them take trades. If they leave the Cathar alone, which they're not, they're electing to double up on it, so we're going to take away their Thalia. We would have taken it away either way. But we now get the nighttime flip, which means their Brutal Cathar, if it comes down, does not have the ability to grab us. They elect to play another tapped land. And they put down their own Sun Gold. They swing. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek at what they're holding on to. Valorous Stance. Make that even more unaccessible, and we'll go ahead and continue to swing for the fences. Opponent now down to 8. One more mana and the Paladin class really ramps up into something terrifying. Opponent only able to drop one card. Now we're hoping for an exile effect. Skyclave Apparition would be ideal in this situation so that we could take the Welcoming Vampire out of the way. We get the land. That is a big deal. So the opponent's going to trade the Moonrage Brute, but we have 10 damage in the air that they have to account for, so the Welcoming Vampire has to go away. Do they have a double spell? We've done a lot to really push them out of range. There's another Brutal Cathar. They don't have it, so this is going to be victory for us on this next turn as long as we swing in with both. Mono white mirror, and we managed to pull it out by just having luck of the draw. And they're gone. Ladies and gentlemen, we pulled it off. Alright, we have a new opponent. Another Thibblethwipt Avatar. Played a couple of them today. This is a good hand. We just need to hope for that third land. 2 Stonebinder Familiars, though, it's going to give us a really good starter. And once we get that exile effect on board, we're going to be in really good shape. Opponent showing Azorius colors. Be interesting to see where they take that. There's a Borrowed Time. Once again, the land has eluded us for a second straight turn. We're going to go ahead and hold back the attack. Keep our chump blockers in position just in case. And a Skyclave Apparition. Well, that's unfortunate. Opponent going to swing in for 5. Thalia is a useful card, but again, if they continue to pound out the exile effects, we're going to be in trouble. Fateful Absence. Do we draw a land? We do get a land. Alright, we're going to go ahead and take their Skyclave, build up a little bit of board presence with a 1/1, and now we have some blocking options to potentially survive one more turn. Spellbinder comes down. What do they elect to take? They go for the Borrowed Time. That's a good call. Now, do they pump the Aspirant, and do they decide to swing through? They are swinging through, so we're going to go ahead and take some trades. Let's go ahead and take the Spirit. No need for them to start hiding our creatures from the board. At this point, I don't think we're going to have the gas in our tanks to survive to the next turn, but we're going to take a look and see what happens. Well, we draw land, and we'll just go ahead and give it to him. No use wasting any more time.